Hello friends. So in this session we will be learning about REST APIs. In the previous session we studied about SOAP UI. Okay. Now there are some drawbacks of SOAP UI. Okay, that or we can say REST API is better on top of SOAP UPI. So it is the way REST is in demand these days. Now SOAP, actually we implement SOAP in XML. So to implement XML is itself a lengthy task. First thing. The second thing is the WSDL file. Okay, the way we write the code, it's very lengthy because has to be as per WSDL. The many functions which WSDL implements, that for every activity there is a function in WSDL. So if you want to hit a specific API, you have to call that specific API. Okay. Rest there is one good feature, but it is discarded that SOAP UI in SOAP SOAP UI maintains or follows the WSDL. So the security which is being established using the SOAP is very good. But in case of REST, it is very free. Okay. But using the REST, it comes where you are very flexible to changes. You can easily modify your APIs. Okay. It is very easy to use if I talk about SOAP. More ways comes into the implementation of SOAP and REST. I think this course is not into going the developmental side why the REST is being preferred over SOAP. First, you just understand that yes, the REST is stateless. It does not store the states. It is cacherless. The information is not being stored, and there are many other benefits of REST protocol over SOAP protocol. Okay. Now the SOAP is as we have studied that SOAP can be implemented in XML. Similarly, REST can be implemented in XML as well as JSON. Okay, but more than 90% REST is only implemented in JSON, not XML, because JSON is a very light architecture, Java architecture. So as we have studied, like in case of when we were using SOAP, we made this request. In case of JSON, it is very simple. You have to write something addition, okay, and first number to second number. So writing of code in JSON is very easy. Okay, there's no starting ending tags. And one more thing, conversion of JSON objects into Java objects is very easy. Okay, so implementation of REST API with the help of Java is also very easy. So that's why the REST is in demand. Okay, so in case of SOAP, we have seen that suppose there were functions add, delete, etc. So for every function, if we want to call it, we have to make a function here from the website. If we want to call this function, we will say add function and put the values into it. Okay, this is how the SOAP works. But in case of REST protocol, we have only 4 functions. Okay, now what these 4 functions, let us stand with CRUD properties. CRUD. Okay, which states C for create, okay, R for read, U for update, and D for delete. So these are the CRUD properties which are followed in HTTPS also, HTTP in SQL. So similarly in REST create, we can do any create activity using the REST API using the post request. We can read any data from the REST API using the GET request. Similarly, update can be done by put and delete can be done by delete. Okay, so any of the activity, and this is API. So we can communicate with this API with only these 4 requests. Okay. Unlike the SOAP, we have to specify the name. Okay. So you see in this, a lot of activities make easier. That's why the rest is being followed. Now let's simple what these are actually: post, get, put, delete are. Post is when to create some information. Okay. Let's say you are on a sign up page and you are putting some data into it. Okay, which will be saved on a server. As is, you are creating something is known as a post request. Get request when you want to fetch a request. Okay, let's say I say this command only when we were booking here and we click on search flights. So what the search flight does, it does not creating anything. It is extracting the information from the different database and displaying to you. It is extracting information. So it is known as a get request when we are getting something. Post when we are sending something to be saved. Put request. Put is almost similar to the post request. But in post we were creating something, while in put we were updating any information which was saved before. Okay, like you created the account, you sign up for the account, it is a post request. But when you are updating your email or password, that request will go through the put request. And this is the delete request. As the name suggests, it is for deleting something, delete a product, delete an account. So REST APIs follows these 4 requests only: post, get, put, delete. Okay. Now, as we learned in SOAP UI, we were having a WSDL document. This was the document which was given by SOAP UI to the website so that he can make the commands and can send it. How this is done in case of REST? In REST, there is no WSDL. Okay, what in REST does, developers themselves prepare a document that this is the API, the description of it, this is the API, this is the description for it, how to send and receive it. Okay, in the API document, what they mention? They mention API name, API version. These are the minimum things which should be present. Okay, API method, that it should be a put or get request or something. It should be the API request, how the request would be sent. API response, how this API would respond, and the API description. So for all the APIs which are implemented by the developer, they will, for each API, they will give this information to anyone who want to use these APIs. Okay, so in case of SOAP UI, so in case of SOAP protocol, there is WSDL. While in case of REST protocol, there is no WSDL, but developers prepare a document named as the API documentation, in which they have at least this basic information for every API. Okay, so as we have seen, the SOAP, in case of SOAP, we go to the calculator web services. Now for REST APIs, must imagine you are using nowadays in your mobile, you have many apps. Now of those apps, I can say normally 20 or 30% of the apps are using your location. Okay, they trace your location, or you can tap and your current location is searched. Now every app is not Now, yes, the every app does not have the satellite mapping or this GPRS system, etc. No, what they do, the Google have exports its API. We have Google Maps. Okay, so this is the Google Maps. Okay, and this is your mobile applications. Now all these mobile applications are showing Google Map. This also, this also, this also. Okay, so how this that they are not implementing Google Maps. What this give is they send request to this Google Maps because Google Map has exposed its APIs. Exposed APIs, or we can say exposed REST APIs. Okay, so it get those information and this API responds back. Okay, now so this Google, if we talk about REST, is does not having a WSDL, but it should have a document. Okay, it should have a document that what are all the APIs it exposed. Now let's search. Let me show you how this document is there. Google Maps REST API documentation. Web service developer. I think that it should be. Yes, you see, it's saying what's a web service is it. It's saying how to build a URL, and just a second. Directions API. Okay. See, like in the Google Maps, you have the way of travel time, waypoints, modes of transport. So they have given the documentation how to use them. See here, modes of travel. It's saying how you can send a request. It has given you that. Okay, so these are the parameters. Let's say if we talk about this is hard for you to understand. Let me take Google weather. Okay, Google weather REST API documentation. Open weather map. Okay, so here you can see that these are all the APIs and they have given the API document for this API doc. You see, so they are in this they briefly send that by city name. If you want to call the current weather data for any location by city name, then you have to send a API like this city name. Okay, you can send it by city ID. So this type of documentation by geographic codes you can send. This will be the response, and this is how the request you can send. So this is how the document which is prepared for using the REST APIs, which is sent to anyone who want to use those services. Now this website Open Weather Map have exposed these APIs. Anyone can use these APIs, call these requests, and it will respond. So this is how it works. So using the REST is very easy. They have just prepared a document, everyone is using it. But in case of SOAP, it becomes a very complicated. So that's why the world is switching for REST, and all those which have been using SOAP are moving to REST. But if we talk about security, yes, SOAP protocols are very secure if we talk about REST. So that was a brief introduction about the REST web services. From the next session, we'll be starting how to use web services, okay, and how we work with web services, how to make an automation suite using the Java with the help of web services. Okay, so from the next session we'll be going a practical hands-on section with Java. So yes, best of luck. Thank you.